what's up, everybody? Welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers. I am Rockin Robbie. Welcome to Rockin Robbie Live. We have a special guest tonight. Let's not hold up the show anymore. It's Mia. Welcome,
Hey
Station.
guys.
Welcome back to the
Hello.
channel.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
Of course, we had you on last time because you were doing a Vampirella book, and now you're doing a Bettie Page book, but you're actually the writer of that book. That's super cool. But before we get into that, how was your Halloween?
It was good. I feel like everyone's always like, "Oh, you're a cosplayer. I bet you have like an amazing cosplay for Halloween every year." And I'm like, "Yeah, no. I feel like myself and a lot of other cosplayers were like onesies or Spirit Halloween." So I was a giant Cheetos bag, flaming hot Cheetos bag.
Nice.
So that was my costume. But really I have fun giving out candy because I make kids in the neighborhood go through like a gauntlet of scares to get candy.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because like every year I try to get something new, like animatronic, something that's like motion censored.
Yeah.
And so far my best one that I've ever gotten is like this 3.5 foot spider that just kind of jumps out.
Huh.
And it just gets everyone, and I'm waiting for the day a parent really gets mad at me for, scaring the crap out of their kids. Sorry. But so far, like, every single parent's cracked up and is laughing. And this last time, like, one of the parents was, like, taping it and then came up and, like, took film of, like, the spider jumping out and everything. So I'm hoping she puts that in a TikTok or something.
Oh, that's awesome. Most parents are probably like, kid deserves it. Do more. Scare the hell out of them. Let's just do it, right? I love stuff like that.
That's how I'm gonna be.
Yeah, absolutely, right? I don't have no Halloween trick-or-treaters ever in my neighborhoods for years and years. Like no matter where I go, no trick-or-treaters come. On this Halloween night, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna chill. I'm gonna watch the Cowboys game. We had done 2 months of Horror Fest. I was like, I'm good on Halloween right now. I'm just gonna have some good food and watch the Cowboys game. And then somebody knocked on my door, and I'm like, who's knocking on my door? I'm not expecting company. And I look out and it's 2 kids trick-or-treating. And I'm like, I don't have any candy. Luckily, I had some of these Count Chocula cereal bars individually wrapped. So I was able to do that.
There you go. Smart.
Yeah.
You could have ended up getting egged later. I don't know.
I know, right?
You saved yourself.
Yeah. Well, I live in an apartment complex. So if they would have egged me, I would have been like, look at the cameras, find out who they were. I want to go talk to them. That's what we're going to do. Or actually, I'd go re-egg them is what I would probably do. And then there's this big egging apartment complex war where everybody's egging each other. And, that could be actually fun.
I mean, I'm actually thinking like that could be it's like, don't they do something in Italy with like tomatoes every year? They have like a tomato throwing thing.
I don't know. Do they? We should
all
go.
That's what I heard.
Let's bring that tradition here.
Yeah, except we just do it on Halloween with eggs. A little messier, possible salmonella, but
Absolutely. Well, even though Halloween's over, we're always in the Halloween spirit around here, of course. So, and I like that because I bet a lot of people are like that with cosplayers. By the way, if you're not familiar with who Mia is, world famous cosplayer Anna Mia. Come on, everybody knows. And I love that. Like, I'm taking it easy tonight. It's like in Buffy, how like none of the monsters go out on Halloween because they're like, it's beneath them. It's too much. It's too kitschy.
I think it's just like, if this is our, like, it's kind of like our job. So it's like we don't want to do our job on Halloween. I just want to be something stupid and have fun and go to a party and just relax.
Yeah.
Although, like, sometimes I am like, I could take a really good costume and go to a costume contest and win some money.
That's true.
But I just feel like it's not fair. And in my odds, like, someone was like, they wore this super great costume one time, and then the person, like, dressed up as a ghost pretty much won.
I love how you're like, it'd be so unfair. It'd be like Tom Brady playing college football for a weekend. It's like, what's the point of that? What's the point of that? All right. Well, you're here because you got this Bettie Page book, which is super cool because not only is it, there's a myriad of covers out there. One of them, of course, you cosplaying Bettie Page, but this is the first comic book that you've written. You wrote this comic book, Bettie Page, Bigfoot Bandits. Tell us about that.
So yeah, I had never written a comic before. Though I have been writing, like, as a little kid, I was such a like bookworm because I was that like loner kid that loved like fantasy books and all that kind of stuff. And I remember like really loving R.L. Stine, and I kind of remembered it the other day that I had written like a short like novel when I was in like the third grade called like The Deadly Note or something like that, and it was all about like notes getting passed into lockers and people yeah.
That's a
Super
cool
like
idea.
R.L. Stein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this Goosebumps fanfic, or is it is this what this Fear
I
Street?
mean,
Fear
I
Street was
guess
one I
it
really got into.
I think yeah, it was definitely Fear Street. I was super into the Fear Street series and Christopher Pike, like all that back in the day. And so like yeah, I'd always loved writing, always kind of did it as a side thing. And I mean, I write nonfiction stuff, so I write about cosplay for Cosplay Central, which is the Reed Pop website. So they have like their own cosplay like themed website run by Reed Pop, and then I write for Otaku USA magazine, which is the last surviving anime magazine in the US, which is kind of sad. But
Oh wow.
hey, you know, at least we still have one. I'm kind of happy, you know, with that. But yeah, Dynamite approached me with the idea of asking if I wanted to try my hand at writing a comic, and I jumped at it, and I immediately went to Amazon and went and bought every single book I could find on how to write a comic script. Because, like,
Nice.
you know, I'm just like, okay, I know I need to write a script. So, all right, what's the formatting? And luckily for me, there's no, like, actual set format. It's not like
Yeah.
screenwriting, which is very formulaic, and there is, which is funny because if you look at Kevin Smith's scripts for his comics, they read very much like a movie script. They look
Yeah.
exactly like a film script, which just
Bendis's are
shows
kind
you,
of like
like,
that a little bit too.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like you can see where they have that, like, you know, theatrical background as opposed to, I forget who some of the other ones are, where it's just like weighty chunks of paragraphs and, you
Yeah.
know, they're thick. There's some thick scripts out there. And so
Like
it
an
was,
Alan Moore script, which is like 2 pages to describe one panel on page 3.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's like there's this varying degree of how they can look. So I actually really enjoyed that because you can kind of tailor it. For me, like when I think of writing a comic, it's kind of like storyboarding for a movie. I'm a huge movie addict and TV addict. So for me, the comics kind of play out in my head, and then it's me basically doing storyboards, which, you know, sometimes to figure out how I wanted the script to go, I had to draw storyboards, which was me making loose sketches with what do you call them? Hangmen, matchstick
Yeah, like
men.
little
What do they call them?
stickmen,
Yeah, Stickman. That's what I. Yeah, that was the extent
hangmen.
of my like art. That's the game, right? Like
All
hang. Like
stickmen deserve to be hanged. They all wind
oh
up in that game, don't they?
no! I was like, wait a minute, they are in that game. But anyways, yeah. So that's how like my storyboards look because I have no actual drawing talent. I can make costumes. I can like make armor piece. I can't draw.
Okay, me neither.
Yeah, so it you know it was very kind of simplistic, but yeah, they originally approached me with the idea and kind of wanting me to work with a co-writer, basically because they were like, well, you've never written a comic before, so we'll get you together with someone else, and then I went crazy and I bought all the books and then wrote a script within like a week and a half and was like, here, I made this, and I handed it to them. And the editor, you know, was like, okay, wow. And I guess talked to Nick and was like, hey, you know, I think she's got this on her own. And it became a solo project, which was really awesome.
That
And
is cool.
it's been such a learning experience coming from being such a, at this point, like, you know, I'm coming as a fan and a cosplayer, but now like getting into the industry and like learning how things work. Like, I had no idea how involved or what parts of everything writers were involved in, you know, like picking the artists that you want to work with
Yeah.
and, you know, all these different things and going through the whole process of edits and, you know, looking at the lettering and figuring out how you want to adjust it once you've got the art. It's kind of it's such a neat process and I've been absolutely thrilled with the whole thing.
Yeah, and it's cool how it's so much a collaborative process. There's so many people involved in that. So you wrote this script, before they even thought about bringing in a co-writer. They were thinking about it, but you wrote the script. You didn't. There already an artist attached to the project?
No, it was kind of an idea, and I literally like jumped the gun and just wrote this whole like script. I was like, how many pages is the script supposed to be? Like, just asking, you know. And then I wrote the whole thing and kind of just jumped the gun on it. I
I
get
imagine you like turning in like 340 pages, and they're like, "Oh, Mia, like this is only going to be like 20 something pages."
well, and that's why I was like, by the way, how many pages? I mean, I was actually Googling at first, like, how many pages is a standard comic? Because this is what I'm noob here, so I'm like, how many pages is a comic? And then I find out that it's a special edition, so I had to add a little bit there, a couple little thick pages in there. But
So you had to add stuff in rather than taking stuff out.
yes,
Man, I
yes, I
think you
had
have
to.
one of the easiest, best first times writing a comic book script out of anybody, probably, right? They're like, "Oh, we need you to add more, and we're not going to assign a co-writer. You're good."
Yeah, no, they really were trying to like ease me into it, and I was like, no, here's the deep end. I'm just gonna go. Here's my little pool floaties of like books on writing comics. That was my pool floaties, and then I just like dove right in, and then was like, look what I can do. And luckily, it turned out to be good because I don't know. I really just wanted. This is one of those like once in a lifetime opportunities. I felt like
Yeah.
and it was just throwing my all in and showing like everything that I can do, and luckily it's impressed, and I'm hoping that I can impress everyone else when they get to read it. But yeah, it's such an amazing collaborative process, and I have such a new respect for comic writers and artists, like everyone involved, the colorists, the letterers, like newfound respect for everything.
Jonathan Lau is your artist on this?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you lucked out. We did a PCP. We did an exclusive cover to a book earlier this year, and we had Jonathan Lau was the one that we commissioned to do the art, and it was like an homage to
Oh.
Ghost Rider #1. He's a
Mm-hmm.
fantastic artist, so you lucked
He's
out there too.
amazing.
But you
He's
deserve it.
amazing. Oh, thanks. And it was great working with him because like we really bounced ideas off of each other,
Nice.
and trying to get different looks together cuz I was trying to be creative and in thinking of ways of laying out panels and stuff like that. Trying to be creative, and what was great is he went with it and then threw in his knowledge and was like, "Well, this is a great idea, but maybe if we tweak this a little bit, it looks a little bit cleaner and more and I was like, "Okay, that reads a lot better." So, it was great working with him, and there's some stuff that he's added in there that I wasn't expecting, that I was like, "Oh, oh, I like that." I like that. Like, there's one. I'm not saying anything at all, but that like when I saw that panel, and he added a little touch in there, and I was like, "Sir, this is
Yeah.
amazing!" Like that right there, made
and
it
he's
so
and he's like
good.
he's like, I know. That's what I do. That's what I do. I've been at this a while. But I'm super excited to read it because I just recently started reading the Bettie Page comics that Dynamite's been doing because our homie Jim Mint had done an exclusive for the Curse of the Banshee #1, right? And
Oh
so
yeah.
I picked that up and I read it, and I was actually rather surprised how much I enjoyed the book because I'm thinking Bettie Page, I'm thinking Dynamite, I'm thinking the covers, and I'm thinking this book's probably just going to be something I'm not necessarily into. No, that book was straight up like Abbott and Costello. It was like old school fun adventure, like horror, like very tongue in cheek. I love the Bettie Page books, and I love their Elvira books too. They crowdfunded an Elvira book not too long ago, and I'm excited to get that one in. It's like Wrath of the Khan or something. But I'm
Hmm.
super excited to get this one in because these Bettie Page stories are awesome. The Banshee one was cool. I like it. It's like her and other people, like basically going around and trying to solve these mysteries. And like I said, in a very Abbott and Costello kind of way, very classic 40s black and white film feeling as it should. You are taking the subject of Bigfoot. Was that your idea? Of course, you're in the Northwest. Was that your idea?
Yeah, that was my idea, and that's the thing. Like, I kind of was going off like this the Betty that they've created, which is not just a pinup model, and just risk taker in general. She is now an adventurer. She is a international spy kind of woman, international woman of mystery kind of character, and I love the idea of like these supernatural creatures, and of course, yeah, being from the Pacific Northwest, I love all things cryptids. I love ghosts and cryptids and all that. You know me. I instantly had to go with Bigfoot, and yeah, that was like the first thing that popped up into my head. And yeah, so it's kind of cool because I brought in that, and then because I'm in the Pacific Northwest, there's a lot of like Washington in there because of course you have to have, the Pacific Northwest in with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's fun. It's I also enjoyed getting to kind of pick out a little bit of her outfits because not only is she going to be this amazing international mystery adventure woman, she's got to look good while doing it. So that was fun as well.
So did you put that in the script, or did you like, this is what she's in pictures, this is what she's going to wear?
I definitely gave Jonathan like some ideas, so I was like, okay, here's some ideas of like outfits, and I went and got different pictures of like classic 50s and 60s starlets and kind of like their outfits that they would wear, like this, but make it look a little military because she's working with the military, so like cute little military-ish shorts.
That's awesome.
And just giving her like this 1950s vamped up look, but she means business.
That's super cool. So right now it is on Indiegogo. It actually wraps up in just like 33 hours. So it wraps up tomorrow. The link is in the description below. I highly encourage y'all to check this out because there's many covers that you can get. There's the main cover. There's the pinup cover. That's actually Bettie Page. Then there's the cosplay cover that actually has Mia on the cover. Then there's a black and white lingerie cover, it looks like, and a bunch of other things that you can get. I'm, as soon as this is over, about to go back it. Tomorrow's payday. And then I'm really excited to check this out. Your Vampirella cover is available there as well. And there's other things. There's a
statue was amazing.
There's a
So I'm not gonna lie, I backed my own Indiegogo just so I could get the statue for like half the price because I've been wanting that forever. It's on my Amazon wish list. It's been on there for like a year and a half. So, but it's like $190 on Amazon or something like that. But if you pledge to the Indiegogo, it's $75.
Yeah, that's a really nice statue, actually.
Right? I had to commemorate this.
I might need to change what I was planning on getting. I was just going to get your cosplay cover. But I don't know. That's a really cool statue. I don't really collect statues, though. If there's a Bettie Page action figure, I'd probably buy that. And there probably is. Someone's probably going to be like, here's an eBay link, Robbie. I'd be like, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So
I love the cosplay cover because it's like, when else will you have the like writer of a comic also on the cover?
Right? The only other time I can think of as far as a photo is like, I know Chip Zdarsky and Matt Fraction, I think, were on a cover of Sex Criminals or something like that. But yeah, absolutely. It's a great way to commemorate it too, because, you're on the cover. It's your first comic book, published that you've written. So you were talking about you were always writing when you were younger. So has that always been an ambition? Do you want to write more after this is completed?
Oh yeah, definitely. Growing up, I was always into writing and always writing stories. And then, you hit college and like life kind of hits you fast and you're doing a million things and you never have time to stop. But this actually got me to really stop and kind of focus back on that. And I realized like how much I loved it and how much I missed it. Like, it's funny, I didn't realize the passion I had for it until I was given the opportunity. And like I said, I dove headfirst in the whole thing. And I'm already like wanting to write more things. There's maybe things, that might be coming up. So hopefully, this will not be the first. This will be one of many, which will then make this a collector's item.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. First issue collector's item.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I keep telling people, if I become, when I become a famous comic writer, this will be worth a lot of money.
There you go. And when it gets picked up and they do a Bettie Page TV series and then they do the special whole like mini series on the Bigfoot Bandit, there you go,
Mm-hmm.
right? There you go. So I know you said that there's maybe some other things. Of course, you can't really talk about that, but are there other characters that you would really like to write?
Oh gosh. I would really love to write a Vampirella story. I actually have kind of like thoughts on one that I would love to do. That would actually kind of hint on my cultural background a little bit.
Okay.
So that I'm not gonna say anything though, just so no one steals my ideas.
Yeah, right. You got to keep that.
But yeah, exactly. But Vampirella would be a very cool character to play around with, and also it would just be fun because she's super badass. Like she will kill people. Like Betty, she'll fight, but like Vampirella will just tear people to shrap.
Yeah.
I want something bloody.
Yeah. Betty is super sweet compared to
Mm-hmm.
Vampirella, right? Like
Oh yeah.
absolutely. Or like a Red Sonja even. And those would be fun characters to write. So did you didn't have a problem at all coming up with your idea for this, did you? It just seems like
Oh, not at
you
all.
jumped right in. I super respect that. I think that's absolutely amazing. I've never written a published comic. I have ambitions one day to do them. I've edited a few comics, which is a little bit different, obviously, and nobody cares if you edited a comic book. But
Oh,
oh, it's fine. It's a great little book. But what I don't even remember what I was going to say now. But
I
I
care. I love my editors.
oh well,
I
thank
care
you.
about the
Yeah,
editors.
thank you. And Dynamite's got some great editors, so there you go. And a great publisher too. In fact, everybody I've ever interacted with from Dynamite has been super freaking cool. So I bet. Well, how was that experience? How was? I mean, it seems like they made it rather very easy. Not that they made it easy for you, but like you jumped in and you almost like I feel like you made it easier for them, probably, right?
Yeah, I think in a way I kind of did just because like I think they expected to have to hold my hand a lot more like through the process, and I was like, no, I got this on my own, and I think that's really I hope that that was what impressed them. But everyone I've worked with there is fantastic, and it's great because I've worked with so many people in the company, whether it's the people involved in working directly on the Indiegogo campaign and working with them, or working, now I'm working with a lot of the people in the fulfillment department for fulfilling all the Vampirella comics.
Yeah.
So I just spent yesterday with like 6 boxes of and I felt super cool because it's the first time I've signed a bunch of my like comics, and even though it's not the one I wrote, it's the one that I'm on. It's the Vampirella one that I was on your show for. Being able to sit down and get like 6 boxes from a publisher of a comic, and they're like, all right, here's your list of what you need to do, here's pens for you, and sign. And I'm like, this is so cool. Like I
It is
feel
cool.
like such a professional.
I feel like pretty soon we're going to be on the experience show that I do with Rex and John, and we're going to be like, all right, coming up next, we got a Vampirella special edition cosplay cover signed by Anna Mia.
That would be amazing. I want to say, actually, I will say the first Vampirella cover I ever did is up on eBay for a lot signed. And I was like, see, I told you guys you should have gotten it while you had a chance.
Do you have any extras? And you're like, man, I need to sign these and put them up on eBay.
I wish I sold out. I've only got my own personal copies, and I'm not parting with those.
Of
So
course not, right? That's awesome. That's super
yeah.
freaking cool. So everybody needs to go back this because it's definitely worth it. I am telling y'all the Bettie Page books are super fun. I'm really excited to see what Mia brings to it. Bigfoot. I mean, you know that we've talked to so many people like Bueller that have Bigfoot stories. So have you ever seen a Bigfoot or had a Bigfoot experience, Mia?
I haven't, not Bigfoot. I've had
I think very
paranormal
few people
experiences,
have
but
Bigfoot
not, yeah.
experiences, right?
I would love to though. Like, I mean, in a way, I say that. So like, I watch Paranormal Caught on Camera. It's a great show. And every time they have like one of the Bigfoot footages caught on camera and the person runs, I'm like, no, don't run away. Which this would also be why no one would ever see me again.
I'm telling you, man, if I saw a Bigfoot in the forest, I'm running. Like one time we were camping and a fox showed up and I freaked out. Like I couldn't even imagine what it'd be. Have you ever seen the movie Saving Silverman? Not Saving Silverman, I'm thinking something else. Strange Wilderness. It's like a Happy Madison movie, so it's got all those people that are in the Adam Sandler movies, but it's about them going to find a Bigfoot. Have you ever seen that movie?
Think so.
When
That's
they
not the one with like Seth Green and them, and it was like Seth Green and a
I
couple
know
other people.
Justin Long was in it, and like all those dudes that are in the Adam Sandler movies. You'll remember this part if you did. When they find Bigfoot, they all just lose their shit and just like mow up. They just shoot him up and they just kill Bigfoot. And they're like, "Oh no, what did we do? We came here looking for a live Bigfoot. They found him. They freaked out. And it's a wild movie. There's
Okay, what is
another.
this movie called again?
I'm pretty sure it's called Strange Wilderness. I got to look that up. I was actually talking about this the other day because I wind up talking. Yeah, Strange Wilderness. It's got Steve Zahn. It's got Justin Long, Jonah Hill, Robert
I
Patrick.
like its classification: comedy slash stoner.
Yeah, there's this weird moment where like I don't remember the exact situation that happens, but somehow some kind of crazy drug winds up in either their like water supply or in their ventilation. And then it just cuts and they're all like in this day glow in the dark paint, everything. And they're all like raving out, freaking out all of a
Oh
sudden.
my gosh,
That
I'm gonna
movie's
need to
really
find
cool.
this.
That's a cool movie. There's another movie about Bigfoot I like. It's called Drawing Flies. It's got Jason Lee in it. It's a View Askew production. It's from like way back in the
Oh,
day. It's super indie, but it's a little bit more dark. But it's about this dude who's like he's like on welfare and he's like not really doing anything and he's I don't know, he's got this obsession with finding Bigfoot. It's not Strange Wilderness though. I think you'll have a lot of fun with that, especially if you
okay.
like
Yeah,
Bigfoot
I'll have to look
stories.
that one up. That sounds like something I would super enjoy. So,
Yeah, it's got a really great cast. I haven't watched this in
hmm
forever. It came out in 2008. I'm definitely going to have to watch this again soon.
I'm
Um,
surprised I've never heard of it.
yeah,
Crazy.
it wasn't big at all. I was working at some video store when it came out, and that's why I in particular remember it because it wasn't like a hit or anything like that. It probably made as much money as like I don't know American Pie number 11. I don't know where they're at with that franchise right now. I notice here that your stretch goal is unlocked already. All backers on
Yes.
will receive a promo trading card. Do you know what the trading card is?
I believe it's of the cover photo, the cosplay cover photo. So I think that is what they will be getting as the trading card. Yeah. So I'm excited that that's already been unlocked. Um, yeah. Good job, everyone.
Yeah, good job, everybody. Let's kick it up even more tonight, though. Let's get that PCP bump. That would be really
Yes.
cool. That'd be really cool. So Mia, for the Halloween season, did you watch any good horror movies?
So let's see. I watched. Okay, so Halloween Kills was all right. I mean, it was what I was expecting from a Halloween movie. It's not anything like super great. The acting makes me feel better about my own. But you know, like it was all right. I
I thought it.
finally saw. Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
I was going to say that I thought the movie was all right too. I mean, I actually liked most of it, but that whole bit in the middle at the hospital with the other patient, and they're all like, "Evil dies tonight." I'm like,
Yeah,
I get what you're trying to do, but like this feels really just kind of forced in there. And like, other than that, I think the best actor in the movie was the people that played Michael Myers. Michael Myers is BA in this one.
yeah.
He's going to town.
Oh yeah. No one stands a chance in that one. Like the poor elderly couple.
Yeah, right. I love Little John and Big John. I wanted a whole movie with them. Like, just
Yeah.
give me a prequel where it's just them. No, not a horror film, just them, their banter, their back and forth. I loved it.
Let's see, what else did I watch? Oh, I finally saw Old. That was actually really good. Like, it's been a while since I've watched an M. Night Shyamalan movie. I'm still coming off of like The Happening and how just horrible that was. But
The crappening, as we call it around here.
yes, The Crappening. But actually that was pretty good. Like I actually really enjoyed the premise of it, the way it was written. It was pretty good.
Yeah, so we got a question from Dave Cerrone, friend of the show.
Okay.
Says, question for Mia. How did you write Bettie Page so she talked and acted differently than your own personality?
So for that one, it was really kind of just getting into her as a character, and what made it a little bit easier is that it is like a period piece. So it made it a little bit easier to think of like headstrong woman. It really kind of was, it became like an acting thing, right? It was like, okay, you are a headstrong woman in her 20s, but in the 1950s, and you're sweet but sassy, and, you know, so it's, you know, having to be a little bit more, not necessarily formal, but a little bit more polite than I would talk, a little bit more, you know, that kind of like flourishing of the way that people talked back then,
Yeah.
and also trying to make sure that I didn't use nowadays slang, and you know, I tried to make it fit the time period. And that really helped in giving her her own identity.
I like that. Did you watch a lot of like movies from back in those days to kind of get that like that syntax, that dialect or whatever down?
I started actually reading some of like, so I read some of the Bettie Page comics from the past and kind of getting an idea from that. And then yeah, well, what made it a little bit easy is I've been watching Doom Patrol. And so like one character that kind of kept sticking in my head as like an influence is Rita Farr,
Yeah.
where you know she's that like 1950s starlet. She's that kind of like very adventuresome woman, but she's also, you know, very put together, and she's had, you know, her own person. So it was like Bettie Page as the wild child that she was for her time, mixed with a little bit of that like 1950s Rita Farr starlet kind of aspect.
I really like that. I like that because I've seen like the first few episodes of the first season, and if you went that route, you're totally gonna nail it. I think. Like absolutely, I would have just watched a bunch of Abbott and Costello movies, but I would then they would have been like, Robbie, you're gonna have to change all of this. It's gonna be crazy. Forgive me real quick, me. I couldn't remember what you did. You enjoy Old? Did you say it was good?
Yeah, I actually liked it.
Okay.
I think, I mean, going into one of his movies, you already know that there's going to be a twist, you know.
What
But
a twist in an M Night movie? No.
but I think with this one, it worked. I don't know. I don't want to say anything. It just, everything worked really well. It wasn't like The Village, or I don't know. It just,
I hate the
it
Village
wasn't
so
like
much.
any of his past stuff.
Good.
I mean, I liked Signs, and I liked you know, The Sixth Sense. Those were good because like the
Yeah.
twists had to do with the story. It wasn't just like, oh God, I gotta think of a twist now. What am I gonna do? Oh, they're living in a park. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I wonder how
You
much of
know?
that is pressured, like where they're like, well, it's people are going to come to your movie wanting a twist. We got to have a twist. I wonder if that's like pressure that he puts on himself or if it's pressure the studio puts on him. But that's something that really, like, I get it. Like, not every movie he does has to be like a Twilight Zone thing where you're at the end, you're like, what? You know, like, not every movie's got to be like that. I love The Sixth Sense. I think Unbreakable's different. Is decent. I think Unbreakable is
Yes.
decent. I used to really like Unbreakable until I rewatched it going into Glass, which I did not like Glass whatsoever, but Split, I think, may be one of his best movies.
Yes.
And it
Yeah.
doesn't, there's not, I mean, there is a twist there, but the twist is so dumb. Like, oh, he's part of the world of Unbreakable. Like, take that out of the movie, and that movie soars. Now that it's
It's a, yeah.
attached to those, that taints it a little bit.
The trilogy itself kind of makes it a little bit more, you know.
Yeah. You know, they always say the middle part of the trilogy is the strongest. So I guess that holds true here. We got a question from Mark. Says, I've got a question. If Robbie and Mia cosplayed together for a comic cover, what would you go as together? Huh.
I don't know.
Well, first of all, I thought it would be really cool. I think because maybe you've done it, but I've never seen Mia as Red Sonja, right? So
Not yet.
what about Mia as Red Sonja and me as Vampirella? Like, there you go, right?
Yes.
That could be cool.
Yes. We
But
need this to become a cover.
but real talk, Vampirella and Dracula. That's what I do. Or Phantom of the Opera and Christine. That would be freaking cool. I love
Ooh.
dressing like the Phantom of the Opera. I also love dressing as Christine. So that would work, but I just don't have the vocal talents for that one. So yeah, that's what I would say. So there you go. Thing and Human
Those are
Torch,
fun.
right? I'll just catch myself on fire. You wear a big rock suit. How cool would that be?
Yes, I would do. See, you are thinking of cosplays like right up my alley. It's kind of that because so one of the pictures I showed on Instagram. Let me see if I can pull it up. Because I love doing goofy things, and it's one of my favorite cosplays I ever did was Master Roshi.
Oh yes, I saw that. That is hilarious, and it's spot on, Mia.
Like I did the bald cap and everything. And it was at Dragon Con too. So it started off as like a whole bet with one of my friends who's like the 6'3" Marine. And he was like, all right, if you'll do Master Roshi, I will dress as like Bunny Bulma. And I was like, only if you do it with the 5-inch heels. And so he agreed. So Dragon Con, and I think it was like my first time at Dragon Con too. And like Dragon Con, everyone, knows a lot of the majority of the women come out in like gorgeous, sexy cosplays, just like their best. And I'm like sitting there in the hotel room as everyone's getting dressed, and I put the bald cap on and I start gluing the wig on, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna go out as an old bald man. And I got so scared. I was like, everyone's gonna look so pretty, and I'm gonna look stupid. Well, but then we got out there. It was so much fun.
I was gonna say that's the prettiest Master Roshi I've ever seen. So there you go. There you go. No, I remember seeing that. It looked hilarious. I love that you do that. I love that you have this fun, goofy side, and that you're not afraid to let that show. I think that's super freaking cool.
You have to have fun with it. Like, that's the thing. Like, cosplay, it's my job now, right? And I don't ever want it to feel like a job. So I'm like, you just need to have fun with it. Because if you're only doing costumes because, you feel like it's going to be popular, or you feel like, it's going to get a lot of likes, it stops being fun anymore. You got to do it for you. And like me, I like to laugh a lot. So and making people laugh. So yeah.
Yeah, you definitely need to check out. You definitely need to check out that Strange Wilderness movie. I think you'll have a lot of fun with that. I'll get a message from Mia. She'll be like, "Robbie, this movie fucking sucked. Like, why are we doing this? This is terrible." I'm just kidding. So everybody needs to go check out the Indiegogo. Like I said, there is a link in the description below. And we talked about what Halloween movies you watch, but I know I hate doing this, y'all, but I feel like I already have to because I've been just bombasted with it for the last 2 days. Christmas is coming. What are your favorite Christmas movies, Mia?
Oh gosh. I mean, I do Home Alone every year and National Lampoon. You got to do those. That's the classics. It used to be A Christmas Story until they started playing it nonstop on like TBS and all those channels, and I was like, I can't do it anymore.
Yes.
I'll admit, I do the Harry Potter series as a holiday movie. I don't know why those just always speak to me as like Christmassy. So that ends up being something that I marathon in the fall and winter.
That's something my girlfriend was telling me the other day. She goes, Harry Potter's a Christmas movie. And I'm like, people treat it like it's a Christmas series. There is a Christmas section in the first book, I remember, and in the first movie. But sure, we'll just go with it because they always play it. Like, like what is it? They used to call it the Family Channel. I don't know what they call it anymore. But they'll do their like 30-something days of Christmas or whatnot. They always have Harry Potter on there. A lot of people do that. A lot of people add Harry Potter in for Christmas. And
for some reason, it's got a Christmas vibe to it. I don't know what it is. It's just holiday vibe.
If you just listen to that John Williams score during Christmas time and didn't tell anybody what it was, they would be like, if they didn't know Harry Potter, because obviously it's very recognizable, they would be like, this sounds like Christmas music. So, I mean, it has that kind of feel to it. So I think it counts. I also like to watch Lord of the Rings during Christmas time as well. And for some reason, that's usually the time of the year I watch Star Wars. I have no idea why, but it's usually around Christmas time.
I feel like that's like a good time to just marathon long things, I don't know why.
Yeah. I think it's because, I don't know, at least with me, we'd be off of school. Maybe like there's more family coming in to do that kind of stuff. You're just lounging around and you wind up watching movies. And usually when you got a bunch of people together, you watch these like tentpole movies that everybody loves. Your Harry Potter, your Star Wars, your, all that stuff. Or you just put it on TBS and watch Christmas Story over and over and over and over. I've never seen a movie so out of place before than more times than A Christmas Story. We're like, where you'll start watching it, it'll be like there'll be like 20 minutes left in the movie, then you watch the rest of it. Like you're watching it out of order all the time because you just turn it on. I don't know, it's such a weird. Why that movie? It's so weird. Did you know
Don't know.
that the guy who did Bob Clark, I think is his name, the guy that directed A Christmas Story, directed another Christmas movie, one of my favorites, Black Christmas, the original slasher film from the 70s.
Yeah.
Ah, same director.
Interesting.
Isn't that weird?
Interesting.
I think that's weird.
Crazy.
Because you're definitely thinking after watching Black Christmas, this guy needs to do like a family Christmas movie, right?
Maybe that's just what he needed. He had to like cleanse himself after that.
Exactly, right? He's like, you know what? No more horror. I'm going full on family now. So
that's a bit much for me.
Yeah, just a bit much. Just a bit much. Mia, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on the social medias?
I am on all of the social media as animia.cosplay or Animia official, except for Facebook. I am animia.cosplay because I made that first for some reason.
There you go. And you're stuck with it now, right?
Yeah, I'm stuck, but that's all right.
Nice. Everybody needs to go check out that campaign. Like I said, link in the description below. Bettie Page, Bigfoot Bandits, is a special oversized one-shot comic book that's only available until tomorrow night. So y'all need to jump on it right now. I am really excited for you, Mia. I hope that you have even more success with it.
Thank you. I'm really hoping so too. Like, I really hope that this is like me just kicking in the door.
Nice.
So.
Then all of a sudden, everybody's calling Marvel, DC, Image. They're all like, yo, we got to get you on something. You're like, you know what? I'm a little busy. I'll get back to you. That's what you got to do, right? You got to act like, I'm real busy. Got to get back to you. Anyway, Mia, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me on again. This is fun, as always.
Of course. So everybody check out that Indiegogo and Station. Remember, next week, we're going to be joined here on Rockin Robbie Live with Justin Richards. He's got another Kickstarter book, so he'll be joining us for the third time. A great dude, a great writer. I'm really excited to be talking to him again. No PCP movie night tomorrow night because we just wrapped up Horror Fest. But don't worry, we're coming back next Friday night with Donnie Darko. Very excited for that. And then Dylan's horror show, though does continue. Halloween doesn't end for Dylan. It doesn't end for us over at Dylan's horror show. Saturday night, Tales from the Dark Side, the movie. Very, very excited for that. Mia, thank you for being here once again. Y'all out there in the PCP Army, Station, go support that book.